Hello, good day, and welcome to another presentation from us at Budget Consultants Limited. Now, in today's video, I will be demonstrating how you start the recovery process for a project that would have gone off the rails. The project that I'm making mention of is this that you would have seen in the previous video. And what I will be showing is how instructions are passed and how you move from getting the structure from the place that it is to the recovery state. And one of the first things that you will need is what we refer to as a schedule of work, or there has to be written instructions for works that are going to need to be done. It cannot be verbal anymore in these scenarios because you reach a point where there's so much wrong things that will need to be removed that you need to be very clear because you do not want the customer's budget to actually keep running in a way that it will discourage them from going forward. So as a reminder, this was the report that helped to cause the demolition, and I am going to show you what I refer to as a schedule of work. So a schedule of work is a basic document. It is just giving a point by point instruction as to what needs to be done to make the structure come in alignment without a lot of issues. So in this, I would have 21 instructions that were given. There are a few of them that are not a big deal, but majority of them are very important. So the first one would have been to remove steel placed in foundation that is not cast, and that would be at these locations where you'd have seen that the reinforcements are in place, and the report are saying that these reinforcements are wrong. So I'm just going to try and go back to the picture. That would be saying the reinforcement is wrong, but like this overlay is what I'm referring to. That's why I would have put in that. That's item 1. The other one was to install profile boards. Why that was important in this particular instance, the works would have been done where the workman did not have any profile boards in place. Now, one could have said maybe he would have taken them up when he reached a certain point, but that really and truly makes no sense. In this scenario, this side of the foundation is not cast as yet, so it should be controlled by profile boards where they would take the markers from the boards, transfer them into the foundation, and ensure that the walls are lining up as they ought to. So the fact that you are looking at this and you are not seeing any profile boards is saying that the worker was not using the technical means to get the work done. Now, when we say profile boards, it is these boards that we are making mention of. This might not be the prettiest display, but I can look again if I see some more. So this is this same setout in Jamaica. Oftentimes we will say they are batter board or batten boards. These boards are needed to control the movement of the building on the ground. As only with this kind of setup, you can ensure that things are following the same path today as they started yesterday. So that was something that was a recommendation that needed to be done. So remove the steel, put up the batter board. The other item was to check the squareness of the building, and that was related to this little area because we were very clear that these were going to need to be demolished. One of the things to add to that demolition exercise was these little walls. I was not very sure how much of them would have possibly been okay, and therefore that's why I was putting in check squareness. But outside of squareness, there was some reinforcement missing, so they could not stay either. So check squareness was very important. Then you have clean foundation to receive new steel. That's very basic. It's following this part that says remove steel. So you would remove the steel, but that would not mean that most of this debris that is in the foundation would have been in the right place. So you would have to still shape and clean the foundation. Then you would move to the installation of new steelwork. Now, cleaning also might include the excavation of foundation, but I didn't want to add that. I just wanted it as clean. And then you'd have installation of steelwork, check column and stiffener location. Then you'd have parish council certification. Then you'd have the casting of foundation. So that was how you were supposed to move from where the works were bad to a point where things started to recover. And this was the document that I started with. Now, originally, I presented this document for the customer to get their own people to get the works done, but they were having issues getting new workmen on the ground. One of the common issues that we always point out when it comes down to projects, that when projects go off the rail, it's not very easy to get competent people to come on board and work on it because everybody is very fearful that they will be dragged under if there's other issues that arise as the project is going on. Like I said, the scheduling of works is something that we use to ensure that things follow a good and controlled path, and that way recovery can be done. But that's where I'm going to leave this video for now. In my next video, I'm going to start showing some calculations in alignment with how works were executed. Now, these calculations are mostly going to be around material. I will highlight the item of labor that were considered, but I will not put labor-related costs in the calculation to allow for there not to be any problem in the market. Hope I see you in the next video.